Hello students, this is teacher Diana Ocharan from the TecNM Campus Las Chuapas. In this video class, I'm going to explain you the prepositions of time and place. This topic is meant to be for the students of the 5th semester of English. So make sure this document corresponds to your level. Let's check a little bit of this document. Here it is a chart. This is very useful and very important. I'm going to explain this later. Then we have a lot of theory about the prepositions. This theory reaches this page. I'm going to go there. Here you can see more theory about the prepositions of time and prepositions of place. Here it is the information until this page here, okay? Here it is the end of this theory. As this can be a little bit boring, I'm going to explain it in a PowerPoint presentation. But remember that you can come back to this document to read the information as many times as you want, and also you can see this video as many times as you want to make your doubts clear. Okay, let's begin with this explanation. So remember the topic is prepositions of time and place. First of all, what are the prepositions? Well, these prepositions of time and place can be often used to talk about time, for example, in 2 weeks, to talk about location, for example, by the store, and transportation, for example, on the plane. Let's see what I'm talking about. Here we have again the chart that you could see on the document. Here it is in, on, at, and both of these uses of time and place corresponds to these 3 prepositions, okay? Both uses time and place corresponds to this. In, it's to talk about general things or bigger. Think in as in a big space or in a big location. More specific, it's used for on for more specific things that in. It's like a medium size, for example, and it is used to talk about time and place also. Then we have at. This is the most specific, very, very specific, okay? I'm going to explain you this as we continue. So, first of all, the prepositions of time. The prepositions of time are in, on, at, by. These prepositions are used to talk from general dates to specific times. Let's see what I'm talking about. For time, we use in to talk about general things. We can express centuries, for example, the 190s, decades, the 90s, years, 1919, 2000, months, in March, in June, weeks, in 5 weeks, seasons, in spring, periods of time like in the future, holidays, in the Easter holiday, parts of the day, in the morning. So as you can see here, from centuries, decades, years, to holidays and parts of the day, we use in because these are bigger things or general times. Then we have on. This is more specific than in. On to talk about holidays with the word day. If the holiday has day, you express it with on. on Easter Day. To talk about days, normal days, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. To talk about dates, on April the 3rd. To talk about specific days, on my birthday. To talk about time, on the weekend. To talk about a day, but plus with a part of the day. For example, on Sunday morning. Finally, we have at. This is the most specific of all, and it's to talk about hours. For example, at 8 a.m. or at 8 p.m. Also to talk about parts of the day. At midnight, we can say also at midday. To talk about time, at the moment, or to talk about holidays that doesn't have the word day. For example, at Easter, at Christmas. Let's see. By. By is used when talking about the end of a specific time. It can be the end of an hour, the end of a week, a month, or a year. For example, I need to finish my report by the end of the week. This means that at the end of the week, my report should be finished by that time, by the end of the week. So, before the week finishes, you should have the report, okay? By the end of the week. Check the other example. I will be leaving by 11. If you want to ride with me, be ready by then. So, if you want to go with me, by the 11 o'clock, I will leave. So before that time, you should be ready to go with me. Here there are more examples. I was born in 1965. The pool is closed in winter. Here is a year, and here is a season. So we use in. She was born on Valentine's Day. This is a celebration that has the word day, so it goes with on. She usually works on Mondays. This is a day of the week, so it must be with on. My last train leaves at 10:30. He doesn't like driving at night. 10:30, it's a specific hour, so we use at. Night is a part of the day, so we use at. Let's continue with the other part of this. We use the prepositions of place to talk about locations, like in, on, at, by are also used with this. We use them to talk about general places and specific locations. In, on, at, and by are the same set of prepositions we use to talk about time. So be careful because to talk about places we use the same. So when you want to know what are you talking about, it's all about the context. Here it is, general things in. To talk about bigger places. A bigger place can be a country, for example, in France, in Canada, in Mexico. Also, a general city, it can be Paris, it can be in Paris. We can talk about a neighborhood like in Manhattan, or an enclosed space, for example, in a car, or in an office, in a building. For example, those are enclosed spaces. Here we have on. As we saw before, this is to talk about more specific things. These are used to talk about streets. On Columbus Street. Avenues. On 7th Avenue. Surfaces. On the floor. Also, these are very useful to talk about the floors of a building. On the first floor, on the second floor. I live on the 10th floor. Then, to talk about means of transport. On a bus, on a plane, for example. And to talk about communications. I heard that song on the radio, for example. We have finally the most specific, very specific at. To talk about addresses, but the complete address, when you have the name of the street and the number. For example, at 4056 State Street. At 456 State Street. Or to talk about a specific location, for example, at the station, because it's very specific to say you will meet them there. Remember, we also use by to talk about places. This is used when you got somewhere using a mean of transport, when you arrived to a place using a mean of transport. For example, James came to the conference by plane. I live locally, so I came by bike. By plane, it means that James traveled in this mean of transport. By bike, it means that you traveled on this mean of transport. Here we have some other examples. Do you like living in London? Lots of people were swimming in the lake. London is a city. We use in. The lake, it's a big place, so we use in. There was a beautiful painting on the wall. The toy department is on the first floor. On the wall, it's more specific than a city. The first floor, it's a floor on a building, so we use on. There is a man at the door. Very specific. We use at. I saw her standing at the bus stop. It's also a very specific location, so we use at. This topic is really easy. You only have to focus on the context. If you have any doubts, try doing this. You can try reading the document related to this topic, or watch the videos the teacher proposed for this. You find them on the document, or also write your questions and ask your teacher. He or she can give you some feedback about this. So, here we finished the first part of this lesson. We're going to post a second part to explain you a little more about this. Thank you for coming to this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much, students.